August 2006. Lorraine Potter drove her mother Emily to the emergency room.
She was complaining a lot. The pain was strong. She said, you know, it's a 10, it's a level 10 pain. It's very strong. And she had never experienced that before, but she thought it was her heart.
As hospital staff performed a cardiac catheterization test, Emily's heart quit beating. Doctors struggled to revive her. After 10 minutes, they found a pulse and she eventually stabilized. Soon after, a doctor told Lorraine the terrible news.
He sat me down and said, it's very serious. Your mom has a torn aorta. There is nothing that we can do for her. As per policy, we are going to send her to Iowa City, to University of Iowa Hospitals. But we know from experience there's really nothing they can do either. He said, really, it's a death sentence.
Lorraine called family to join her and pray. Then, she spent a few minutes alone with her mom.
I felt like that was the last time I was going to see her alive, so as much as I could, I spoke to her, told her I loved her, was able to stroke her hair, to kiss her, you know, and that was all I could do. The level of anxiety, the level of grief was very high. At this point, there was no hope. You know, there was no hope I had been given.
Emily was transported to the University Hospital. When Lorraine arrived minutes later, she noticed a license plate that read YHWH, Yahweh, the intimate name of God. At that moment, Lorraine says she felt his presence.
The peace that passes all understanding that guarded my heart and mind kicked in and came over me. And from that moment on, my anxiety was gone. My hopes are eternal and my hopes are in Christ. And I knew where my mom was going, no matter what. And I knew the Lord was with me, no matter what.
Doctors ran a new catheterization test to confirm the first diagnosis. Then they told Lorraine their findings.
He said, Emily came in with a torn aorta, and so as per our policy, we re-examine, you know, the diagnosis that they come in with. We've done all the tests that we could, and there is no torn aorta.
What was clearly visible just hours ago was now healed.
You know, anything that came out, it was all God, you know.
The new tests, however, did reveal a 90% blockage in an artery near her heart. When they went in to place a stent, the blockage also disappeared.
Really, there was nothing doctors could do. God was doing a healing. You know, they hadn't been able to touch her. They hadn't been able to perform anything. Nothing man did was healing her. This was all God. He healed the torn aorta. He removed the blockage.
Doctors were still worried about another issue.
The doctor explained to me at that point that they were not sure of her brain function, that it was a concern to them because she had been gone for 10 full minutes. They didn't know what her brain function would be like when she came out.
The next morning, Emily woke up and tried to communicate.
My mom was lying on her bed, fully intubated, trying to use sign language. We can't understand her. Finally, she's frustrated enough, so they get her a clipboard and a marker, and she writes down, no anterograde or retrograde amnesia. So I said, okay, well, I think her brain function's there. I think she's back.
Miraculously, she had no signs of brain damage either. Emily and Lorraine say the presence of God sustained them through the entire experience.
You know I was touched by God. And I think when He touches you, can't even explain it. It would have been fine with me if I had gone that night, but I didn't. And the Lord had something else in store. And I felt fabulous. It was an experience that I will never forget because of the way I felt when I woke up. I just felt like I wanted to stand up and dance and scream and sing and whatever. You know, it just felt so good.
Today, Emily's heart is healthy. Though questions remain regarding what exactly happened, Lorraine knows it was God with them that made all the difference.
The Lord really healed me 3 times. If you can have 3 miracles in one miracle, I really did. No torn aorta, no blockage, no brain damage.
The joy of having her back was wonderful, but greater was the peace of having Him with us.
Why He did this for me, I don't know. I loved Him before. I love Him now. It's not for me to question why, other than if I can glorify Him, that's the most important thing. He is a merciful God, and He does miracles today, not just in biblical times. And He does major miracles today.